All right. I'm really glad everybody's here today. I wanted to hop on and talk to you today about the words that you think and the words that you speak because they have great importance on your life, possibly more than people even imagine. It really makes a difference. Did you know that you will believe the words that you say and the words that you think more than you believe anybody else? Right? So let's say if I got on here and I was like, "Oh, Liz, your hair looks cute today." And she would be like, "Oh my word, I haven't washed my hair and I just pulled it up, or I did what? I put on my hat." So you totally did not accept that compliment from me. I could tell you you look beautiful all day and you've already convinced yourself that you haven't because you haven't showered, you didn't do the things and all the stuff, right? So your brain will believe, even if you don't say it out loud, even if you just think it, your brain's going to believe you. It trusts you more than it trusts anybody else. Okay. So it's very important, the information that we give our brains. Okay. So in order for you to understand that better, I need to tell you a little bit how your brain works. So your brain's main function is to ensure that you are safe, you are healthy, and that you feel good, that you're okay, right? So I tell my kids at my therapy office this all the time. Every millisecond, your brain is asking itself, am I breathing? Is my heart beating? Am I okay? Am I breathing? Is my heart beating? Am I okay? Like, I can't even say it fast enough. It's every millisecond just to make sure you're okay. Um, if something happens, it gets a feeling that something's not right. Maybe you're holding your breath, or you're breathing too shallow, or your heart's beating too fast because you're nervous, or you have things that don't match up with your words, which is what we're going to talk about, then it will work to maintain harmony and peace and get that back into alignment as fast as it can, because it doesn't like not feeling okay. Okay. Um, so for example, if it says, I'm breathing, my heart's beating, I'm okay. Okay, let's move on. That's what it does. If it asks itself, am I breathing? Yes. Is my heart beating? Yes. Am I okay? Mm, I don't know if I'm okay because I don't feel right. Something's not right. We got to fix it. Let's hurry up and fix it so we can be okay. That's what your brain does all of the time. Okay. And there are things that we don't ever actually think about. That's why it's in your subconscious mind. It's the part of your mind that you don't think about. Heavens to Betsy, I'm glad I don't have to think about breathing, and I don't have to think about my heart beating and all those things. It just happens, right? So most people aren't aware of the impacts of their thoughts and their words, that they actually impact their physical health, their mental health, their emotional health, their spiritual health, all the way across the board. Your words affect everything about you. So we're going to do a little experiment before I tell you some of the things. So you're all muted. Nobody can hear you, right? So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to say these things out loud and repeat them after me. I'm going to try to remember what she says today. I wish I had a better memory. I hope I can put to use what I hear today. If only I could do all these things. Okay, now open your eyes. You feel good about that? Did that feel good? Yeah, maybe, right? Okay, so you're hoping you can do these things. Well, let me tell you what your brain heard. Okay, when you say the word wish, I wish I could remember what she says today. Nobody wishes anything. Wish is not a real word to your brain. You don't wish you could get up in the morning and brush your teeth. You don't wish you could pick up the pencil, right? You just do it. You get up, you brush your teeth, you pick up the pencil. When you say the word wish, your mind hears, yeah, me too, but you might as well get over that. That's not going to happen. Okay. So that's the word wish to your mind. Okay. When you say the word hope, I hope I can do this. Hey, when you hope, when you say you hope that you can do this, your mind goes, yeah, well, I hope so too, but that's probably not going to happen, because every time you hope something happens, what happens? It's like 50-50 or less that it actually happens. So your brain's already learned that hope is something that doesn't actually happen. And if you say, if only I could do these things, and then your brain goes, well, you never managed to do it before. So what makes you think you're going to do it now? Okay. So these are not positive reinforcing words that we're hearing ourselves say. And it's not encouraging us to do better, right? So we want to use words that are encouraging us to be the best that we can be, right? So now we're going to do this again. Close your eyes. Repeat after me. Rebecca's going to sound crazy in front of people. But repeat after me. I will remember this. I have a phenomenal memory. And I see and hear and read things and they stick. I am remembering it all. I've got this. I have incredible powers of recall and assimilation. Now, open your eyes. Did that feel better? Does it feel more accomplishable? If that's a good word, I can do this, right? Okay, so the words you say carry weight. Another word you should never say is should. Okay, I should go to the gym. Yeah, you should. You know, the true statement is I could, the word could instead of should. I could go to the gym. I'm choosing not to today, but I could go, you know, but should kind of doesn't encourage you to do anything. I will go to the gym if you really want to do it, right? So here we go. We are going to talk about some of the specifics of this, okay? And you're going to remember it because you just told yourself you were. The first word that I want to talk about is cognitive dissonance. So if you have your camera on and you know what cognitive dissonance is, you can raise your hand. It was kind of a word I wasn't, yay, Rebecca, wasn't fully aware of until I started doing some of my Young Living stuff. And they really encourage you to do a lot of personal development and a lot of learning about yourself and things like that. So I'm going to give you the actual definition. I'm going to read it here. It is the state of having inconsistent thoughts, inconsistent beliefs, or inconsistent attitudes, especially as they relate to behavioral decisions and attitude changes, which is what we all want to work on, right? We want to change our behaviors to be better. We want to change our attitudes when they're not so great to be better attitudes, right? So this is going to stress your brain out. Remember when I said it asks, am I okay? If you have cognitive dissonance, if you're saying one thing and doing another, that doesn't match. That's going to stress it out, okay? Or if you're saying one thing and believing another, that still doesn't match. It's going to try to stress it out. So it's going to try to fix it. It's going to pick one and work towards that. Okay. Your brain only kind of picks one road and goes for that. So the more you do any one thing, your brain thinks, oh, we're doing this a lot, or we're thinking this a lot. We need to make this happen. One of the examples is for myself, I would like to lose some weight. I am not currently my ideal weight. I am going to lose weight. But if I tell myself that I am going to lose weight and I'm going to do this, but then I'm eating poorly, your brain's like, well, do you want to eat poorly or do you want to have your ideal weight? We got to pick one. Which one are we going to do? And it wants to resolve the differences. So one of the examples is, so like I said about my weight, I can say I have a great metabolism that keeps me at my ideal weight, and I love and I'm excited about making healthy food choices. I'm not at my ideal weight and I don't always make good food choices. But if I keep saying this to myself repeatedly, my brain's going to go, oh, those don't match, but she keeps saying this. We must want to go this way. Let's make this happen. Okay. So the more that we put in the things that we want to know, we actually want to have happen in our lives, the more likely it is our brain's going to get there. We've heard people say, you know, this is where my oldest son, Parker, would get irritated with me. He's like, Mom, you can't just say it and then it happens. No, you can't. Sometimes some people are lucky, and if it's an easy change, you can make that flip pretty quick. But it's not a magic pill. It's not that you can't say, I want to be rich. I'm going to be rich. Okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute, why that doesn't really actually work. But if you are making statements that could be true and that you want to be true, then your brain will work towards those things. Okay, so what we need to know now is, how do we reprogram our subconscious brain to get what we want, right? We weren't born sabotaging ourselves. We were born with great confidence. Look at toddlers. They have great confidence. we kind of lose some of that as we go along, right? But we had it to start with. So how do we reprogram that and make our subconscious mind work to our best abilities the way we want it to work. Okay, so your subconscious mind is an amazing tool, but it's kind of like the instructions are written in German. We don't really know how to use it. It's like, it's there, it's great, it keeps me safe. I don't know what else to do with it, right? Okay, so your subconscious mind's job is to do what you tell it to do, but it doesn't make up extra things. So we need to be specific, we need to be detailed, and we need to make it exciting and relevant and powerful words, okay? Because that's what it's going to hear. So one of the things I'm going to challenge you to do is start listening to yourself. This is one of the first things I started doing when I started, we call it conscious language. Say the words you want to say on purpose. Don't just be talking, right? So my challenge to you is listen to the words that you speak. Listen to the words that you say to yourself, especially those pertaining to yourself, right? Because they carry your future in them, and start listening to them and go, ooh, that probably wasn't my best option, and then just flip it. If you say something or think something that you shouldn't have, say the opposite, and it'll start to flip that picture for you, okay? So 3 things you need to know about your mind, your subconscious mind. It can only work in the present tense. It doesn't know what next year is, next month is, what tomorrow is. Everything is in the present. Okay. So when you say next year, I'm going to be thin. Next year, I'm going to be further along in my business. Next year, I'm going to meet Mr. Right. Whatever it is, your brain goes, okay, well, that's later. Put that off. It doesn't really know what future is. Okay. So the words that you say to yourself, you need to change into right now, or I am, not I will be, I want to be, but I am. So right now I'm losing weight. Right now I'm working towards my financial goals, things like that. You want to make it in the present tense, because then your brain goes, oh, it's right now. I need to work on that right now. I can't put that off. That's a right now thing. So you actually put those words in there to make your brain hurry up, if that makes sense. The second thing that you want to work on is that your mind works in the most descriptive words that it can get, because it likes to make pictures with what you're talking about. So we all make pictures in our mind using the words that we use. So for instance, if you say, oh my gosh, I love the beach. I love to sit there with my toes in the sand and just listen to the waves. Your brain starts making this picture, and you can kind of get the feeling that you're there if you're in a quiet enough place and you can do that, right? We make those pictures in our brain. And so, oops, sorry, I lost my place. And so what it doesn't understand are things that don't have descriptive words, or it also does not understand the word no, not, don't, never, or try. Okay, those things. So if you tell a toddler, don't touch that vase, the toddler's subconscious also doesn't hear don't, they heard touch the vase. How many times have you told a toddler not to do something and then they do it? It's because our brain doesn't hear the word don't. Okay, so if I say, I don't like cake, I am never going to eat cake again. All I heard was cake, like cake, gonna eat cake. It took out the not and the never and the don't, right? And so when you make those New Year's resolutions, you say, I'm not ever doing that, or I'm not doing this, or I don't do that. How hard are those to keep, and how quickly do we fall off? Because our subconscious mind can't grasp not doing something. It works towards doing things. So not doing something doesn't make sense to it. Okay. So you have to flip those to say something else. So instead of telling the toddler, don't touch that, you need to tell them, step back. That makes sense. They can do that. They can step back. They can walk away. They can do whatever, but the don't won't make any sense. And the word try doesn't make any sense. Do you know the word try doesn't even exist in most other languages? The word try is not there because you don't try to do something. You don't try to sit down. You either sit down or you don't sit down. You don't say, because Americans use this so much. Well, if somebody invites you to something, we'll try to make it. Will you try? Or you just don't want to? You're going to, you're not going to. There's no try. I heard of a lady that actually got in trouble in another country, not in trouble, but got into a discussion she couldn't follow or understand because she kept saying the word try, and the guy kept asking her yes or no. He didn't know what try meant, and she was like, I finally understood he needed a yes or a no because try didn't have a word for that. So I thought that was kind of interesting that some languages don't even use that word. So if you hear yourself no, stop, don't, well, stop is in there, but try, then take those words out. And then the third thing that your brain needs is it needs your words to be exciting and dramatic and powerful, again, to make those pictures, make them super descriptive, okay? Because the two most important things that you can do to help control your mind is use very descriptive words and try to make a picture of that, okay? Successful people have very powerful pictures and very exciting words. They'll say things like, I have plenty of energy because I always get a good night's sleep. Even if they didn't, they'll say it anyway, right? I have plenty of energy. I feel great because I'm eating well and I take care of myself. While the unsuccessful people will have more sad or doubting words like, oh my word, I'm going to be so tired today because my neighbor's dog barked all night and I didn't sleep well. And they're already tired before they leave through the door, right? Or they'll say, whoa, spring's coming. That's great, but I'm going to have allergies. My allergies always make me sick. And I mean, you've heard these conversations. You may be somebody who says it yourself, right? But when your brain hears that, it goes, spring's coming. Okay, then I'm supposed to get sniffly. So we're supposed to get sick. And then we're supposed to, it's going to work towards what you're saying or what you're doing. So be careful on that day-to-day basis, what you're actually putting out there. One of the examples I heard somebody say once when they talk about you need to be able to create a picture with it is, I've heard counselors say, tell yourself every day in every way, my life is getting better and better. Every day in every way, my life is getting better and better. The problem is, what is that a picture of? There's no descriptors. There's no what part of your life. There's no now. There's no, it's kind of useless to your subconscious because it's not making any sense. It's not passionate. It doesn't get your mind excited about doing anything. So instead, you can say something like, I have a skill and a passion and a determination. I am moving towards my dream career like a magnet. I'm gifted, I'm motivated, I'm passionate, I'm driven. All these I am statements. I heard this one lady say, so I wrote this down, my body is an awesome wellness producing machine. Instead of sitting around going, man, I hope my anxiety doesn't come back today, or I hope I don't get depressed today, or man, maybe I'll get sick if I go out or do something. I don't know what that is. Nope, my body's an awesome wellness producing machine. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could lose weight, or I'm trying not to get any heavier, or whatever, I have a phenomenal, extraordinary, super efficient, fantastic metabolic rate. And my body burns off whatever I eat. I eat well, but even if I don't, it's okay because my body has a great metabolic rate and it's just going to burn it off. So the difference between the words that you say make a huge difference. So you want to concentrate on your words and listen to yourself and make sure that they're actually what you want to happen, because what you're saying is what you're working towards. Okay. And one word can make a big difference. So an example of that is, I actually heard this example and I was able to use it right before I got on, because the example was, instead of telling someone, they had a child as an example that was going to school. And they said, every time this child gets out of the car to go to school, they have to turn around and come back before they get to the door because they left something in the car. So the mom said, instead of every time they come back to the car, say, what'd you forget this time? Oh my word, your memory is like a sieve. It just drains right out. Instead of saying that, you can say, what did you remember? That's a great job. You have a good memory because you remembered to come back and get that. Things like that. So right before this class started, I was kind of reviewing my notes, and Palmer left to go to church, and he made it from the driveway to the front mailbox. And then I saw him running back up to the front door. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And for those of y'all who don't know, he's 17. And I unlocked the door and I said, what did you remember? He says, I forgot the office key. He's going to my office to clean. And I said, you remembered the office key. And he went and got it, and he comes back past me. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I forgot it. I said, well, I said, this is exactly what I'm doing my class on today. You can choose on the negative part. You can choose to focus on the negative, which is you forgot it, which tells your brain that you forget things. Or you can focus on the positive, which is you remembered it before you even got to the mailbox. So that's great. Your memory worked. It brought you back to get the key. So then your memory's working. Same situation, different set of words, different set of mindset, you know? So that's kind of a good example of just how one word, forgot versus remembered, makes a big difference. So the reason it's so important, because everything you think and everything you say forms a blueprint for your subconscious. And then your blueprint in your subconscious, it has to make that happen. It has to make the blueprint happen. So all of your words are important. All of your words carry meaning. And this is not only for us, it's like for me with Palmer. I could have told him he forgot something and given him a hard time about that, or I could tell him he remembered something and that was a good thing. The things we speak to other people either build them up or tear them down, right? There's very few words that hit a middle ground that mean nothing, right? And we know that because some of the words in our head are even put there by other people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Other people have said things often to us enough that we have claimed it and taken it as ours, right? When really it may or may not be true. So how do you work on fixing this? I told y'all 30 minutes, it's 33, sorry, or close to that. This says 33. So I guess it's only 25 because I was on before we started recording. So what can you do? My brain's a little tired. My brain's not tired. It's going to do good. So what can you do to work on this? Get yourself a little notepad or a journal and start writing down positive affirmations. Okay. Write down I am statements. I am strong. I am physically fit. I am out of debt. I am, whatever your goals are, write down I am statements. And then add as many descriptive, exciting, firing up kind of words that you can, because other than just I am, the descriptors are what gets your subconscious excited about making it happen. Okay. So instead of I am in shape, you can write I am in the best shape of my life. I feel great and phenomenal every day. You know, just add a little bit more. Okay. And then read those every day. Every day. If you can, multiple times a day, because when you start saying them, your brain's going to compare that to what you currently know, have, and do, and it's not going to match, right? And then your brain has to pick a path. Which one are we going to try to go for? Which one do we believe? We can only believe one. So if you say them repeatedly, day after day after day after day, your brain goes, well, they keep saying this over and over and over, so it must be the important one. It must be the one we're supposed to work towards, right? Instead of saying it once and then hoping it happens. Keep saying those positive things repeatedly. And then the other thing that you can do is change the words that you use on your day-to-day things. For example, like there's a motivational speaker. Her name is Lisa Nichols, and I love her. And she has tons of YouTube videos. But she says when she makes her list, instead of writing workout on her calendar, she writes snatching my sexy back. And instead of writing meal planning or cooking, she writes providing my body with amazing fuel, so that it becomes things that your brain wants to do. It doesn't want to work out, but snatching my sexy back sounds pretty good. I'll go do that, you know? So trick your brain into it. It's kind of all a mind trick. You know, you want to trick your brain into do things. The more fun it sounds to do, the more your brain will actually want to do that. So say what you want to be true every day with confidence, with descriptive words, with exciting words, and your brain is going to try to make that come true. And if you like this class, there's like so much more. I could do this for hours, but I'm not going to do that to y'all. But I am going to break it up and try to do some videos on some different things and follow through, because there's an idea that breaks off of this that kind of goes forward with that. So I will be doing more of these. So I hope that you enjoyed it. And we'll come back again later.